Yo, how's it going, folks? It's me again, your boy Tavo, and this is another lesson on SVG for the web. And today we're going to be exploring some more JavaScript and how to manipulate different elements. To be specific, in this lesson, I'll be using an image tag, and I will put an image in it. And then afterwards, I will create a mask, and then I will assign this mask to my mouse move. So basically this mask will be serving as a filter on the picture. So meaning that only the part that will be visible is the one that is masked. And then this mask will then be controlled or assigned to the mouse in order to manipulate its translation. So basically, as I move my mouse, then the mask filter will be moving around with it. So you'll be seeing the parts that are around only where the mouse is moving. And so to illustrate what that means, I'll just show you with the example that I'm going to be doing now. So this is what you will be seeing. So this is basically the filter. So I will close this in order to then give you an understanding of what is actually going on. Okay, so here's the picture without the mask. Okay, so here's the image right here. And so basically what I'm doing is that I've assigned a filter to it, and that filter will basically kind of clip out. It's not a clip path, but it's a mask, which are similar but not quite. So the mask will only be revealing the parts where the mouse cursor will be moving, so it will form a circle around it. And then that's the part that will be visible, and then the rest of it will be cut off or invisible. Okay, so now I will return the filter. Okay, so now you understand what the principle is. As you can see, you see the picture over there. Okay, and then what I did also is I created another mask, and then this mask is just a rect, and I just rotated it. So all it does is just rotate basically, but the functionality is still the same, so that's all I did. I just kind of created a rotation around it just to make it look different. But yeah, so this is what the lesson for today is. So this is just to kind of give you a taste of what you could do, and the whole point is to kind of inspire you to build on what you have learned and to see what other functionality you could combine, to see the different effects that you could create. This is not anything big necessarily, but it's kind of cool, just to know that you can be able to do stuff like this, and you can make it even more graphical, add some blend modes, and add some light, whatever, just play around, add some gradient, add some blur, like a blurred tail. I don't know. I think the possibilities are many. You just kind of have to really think and explore. Mainly, it's besides just thinking, you have to explore, to find out what kind of effects you can create. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is basically we're gonna recreate this whole script. Okay, so I will take you through the whole thing, and we will do all of this from scratch. Okay, so I will just close all of that, and over here then I'll also close that one as well, and then I will create a new script. Okay, I will say JS. I'll say blur mask. Okay, I'll say .html. Okay, this name is just random. I just came up with whatever quick name I could think of. Okay, so it doesn't really mean anything. So say SVG, and then I will give it a width of 100%, and then I'll say height. I'll make that 2000. Okay, so now that we've got that, I'll just create my script over here. So there we go. So what I'm gonna do then, I'm gonna create devs tags. This is where then we're gonna put our filters and everything, and our blur. Okay, so inside devs, then I'll say filter. Alright, I'll say filter. Okay, I'll close this filter. Okay, and then I will give it an ID. Okay, so this is gonna be my blur filter. Okay, this is where I'm gonna create my Gaussian blur, and so then I will say fe dot Gaussian blur, and then I will, okay, the in will equal to the source graphic. Okay, and then I will say standard deviation, that will be equal to 4. Okay, so I will close that guy right there, and what I will do is then I will create a mask. Okay, so I'll say mask, and then I'll give it an ID of mask underscore 01. Close that guy and create another closing mask, and then do that, and then inside I will create a circle. Okay, so I'll say circle cx equals to 0, make that 0, and then we'll say cy equals to 0 as well, and then I'll give it a radius of 50. Okay, radius of 50, and then we'll fill it with white. So white, and then we will close this guy. Okay, I can also give it an ID of yes, I'll say circle. I'll say 01. Might need it, might not need it, but I'll do it anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy that, and then I'll call this mask 02, and then I will make this a rect. I'll say rect, give it a ID of rect 01, and then I will change the values here. It's x equals to 0, y equals to 0, and then over here this will be the width. So I'll say width equals to 100, and then I'll say the height also equals 100. Okay, I'll also give it a filling of white. Okay, so everything should be fine there. Okay, so now that we've got that, then I will create my image. So I'll say image, and then I'll say href equals to, so I'll state the address out of there, and I'll say pre underscore tutorial script. That's the address, and I'll say images, and it should be earth underscore mind underscore and underscore body dot jpeg. Okay, so we'll give it a width of 100%. So no, sorry, I will not give it 100%. I'll say 28%. Okay, so let's close that guy. So that's what we've got there. What the hell is this now? Yes, it's supposed to be pre. Okay, yeah, pre-tutorial script. Okay, fine. So now let's have a look at what this image looks like. Okay, so there we go. So we've got our image right there. So this is what the image looks like. And so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how this will work basically. So we'll start by creating a mask. I'll just do it manually over here, just to show you how the mask works. So at the moment you see the full image, and so we'll apply the mask, and then we'll see what that will do. So we'll say mask underscore 01. Okay, so let's see what happens there. Okay, as you can see over there, this is where our mask is. If you want to see it better, I will then maybe give it a value of 100 there and 100 here. Okay, so here it is over here. So you see our circle, but it's a very sharp edge circle. So what I would like to do to this guy over here is then add the filter. Okay, so I'll say filter equals URL, and then I will use our blur filter. Okay, so we'll say blur, and then we will do the same thing with the rect, because we will also later on assign that. Okay, so let's see, nothing is happening. So what's the problem there? Okay, there we go, spelling over there. Okay, cool. So there we've got our blur. And now what we're gonna do is then we're gonna then create our JavaScript code to manipulate our mask. Okay, so then we want it to be assigned to the cursor so that when the mouse moves, then the mask will move with the cursor. Okay, so we'll start by creating a variable for the circle. So we'll use circle as a reference. So say document dot get element by id, and then it will be circle 01. Okay, so let's log that to see if this is really working. We cannot circle 01 but just circle. Okay, let's log that guy over there and let's see what we get. Okay, over here you see this is circle with id, so yes, this is the correct object. And what I will do then is I'll just copy that, and then we will create one for the rect, say rect. Okay, and then this one will be referencing yes, rect 01. Rect 01 is correct. Okay, so what we're gonna do is then I'm gonna log that one as well. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, cool. So we've got the right objects. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you, okay, one thing that I wanted to tell you is that you should use this a lot. This should be your best friend, because if you don't know what attributes you have or how to access them, like which index they're in, then this would be a good tool to use. Because for instance, I'll say I want to see my attributes. Okay, first of all I want to see like a list of all the attributes that I have here. So what that will do for me is, yes, it gives me the object and then inside are the attributes. So here's the list of all the different attributes. So I've got my ID, X and Y value, the width, the height. So yeah, I've got the works. So now what's gonna happen is when you click on any of these, you can go through like all the different values, local name, ID, namespace, URI, all this junk, and then you've got your value over here, which is rect. So that would be the value of ID. And if you close that, this over here would be the value of your X attribute, the Y, and so on. So you've got your size there. So you can basically go through this, and then how to navigate through this object and how to basically get access of different values. So now that we've looked at this, we know that our X and Y, they lie on the first and the second index. Okay, so now that that's established, then we're going to say attributes one dot let's just first say 1. Let's see what that does. Okay, so it gives us this value x is equal to 0, and then we say dot value. This is being more specific. This time it will just give us the value 0. Okay, so that's how that will work. Okay, so what we're going to do then, we're going to start with the circle. We want to then assign it to our cursor. So we'll create an event. We'll say window dot on mouse move is equal to function e, and then we'll say circle dot attributes, and then we'll say index 1 dot value equals to e dot client x. Now what is client x? Client x is the x value of our mouse movement. So as I move the cursor, it will take the value of the x coordinate. Okay, so now that we've declared that, so we said that our the x value for the circle will be equal to the x value of our mouse cursor. So let's see what that will do. Okay, so you can see we've got that. See, when I go down, nothing much happens, but when I move side to side, it moves along with it. So then we've managed to capture that. So what we'll do then next is just to copy this guy and just paste. So we'll change the value. We'll say client y, and then we'll change the value for that in order to access the y value for the circle. So now that we've got that, let's see what that does. Awesome. Okay, so now we've got full-on control over the mask. Okay, so we can go over like that so you can see this is how that would work. Okay, so now that we've got that, we know that that works. It was quite simple. Now we're going to do the same for Rect. Now with the Rect, it's going to work a bit different because of how it's centered, right? The circle has the center point in the middle, okay? Whereas with the Rect, you know that the point is at the left top corner. Okay, so that's going to be a bit weird because when you add animation to it, then it rotates a different way. But also in terms of assigning the value of the mouse cursor, let me just illustrate. Okay, it's better to do it that way, then you can understand what it is that I'm trying to show you. So I'll just turn that. I'll just say Rect. Okay, so the values are the same. It's all good. They have similar index values. And so over here, then we're going to change that to mask 02. Okay, let's make sure that everything over here is fine. I think everything should work just fine. Okay, so now you see what's happening. Instead of our shape being in the middle, or instead of our mouse cursor being in the middle, you say it's only dragging it from the upper left corner. Okay, because this is the center for our Rect. So in order to get it right, then we have to kind of do a little bit of math. This is quite simple. What we're going to try to do, there are different ways of doing it, but I'm just going to show you one way. Since we know that our Rect has got a width of 100, so it means that the center point on the axis will be 50. Okay, and same with the height. We know that on the y-axis, then the center point will be at value 50. So what we can do then is say client x equals to client x minus 50. Okay, so now we're minusing 50, so we're bringing it back to the left. Okay, so also here we're gonna say minus 50. Okay, let me just create some space over here. Okay, so let's see what that's gonna do. Okay, I'll refresh. Ah, awesome. Okay, so now we've got our Rect right in the middle. Okay, so we can move it along, as we please, and everything is working just fine. Okay, awesome. So now that we've got that, so what we want to do now is we'd like to then add an animation to the Rect. We're just going to do it to the Rect, just because with the circle, then you don't really get to see the animation because it's a circle. Okay, so now we're going to do that, and then inside we're going to use an animate transform tag. Okay, let me just say animate transform. Okay, so we wanna then say the transform name is equal to, okay, before anything else, let's just give it an ID. We'll say the ID will be nmt. Okay, I'm gonna name it nmt, and so we say transform name will be equal to transform. Okay, so that's our transform name, and then we'll say transform type, then we'll say XML. That's our transform type, and then the type will be rotate. Okay, so now we want to rotate. To manipulate the rotation, so we want to animate the rotation. So then I'll say from. Okay, so this is the value that I want to start animating from. We'll start from 0 and then 360. Okay, 360. Okay, and then the duration, I would like that to be 3 seconds, and then our repeat count will be indefinite. Okay, so that will repeat indefinitely, and then after that, then we will close our tag. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got our animation. Let's see what's what's going on? Okay, the animation is not working. Let's see what's the problem. Wait, my bad. Let's say attribute. Say attribute type. Okay, oh, I've got type. Sorry. Yes, there we go. Okay, so check it out. So this is how our animation is behaving. You know, it's basically rotating from that center over there. You see, if my cursor is over here, then it looks like it's working fine. But yeah, it's just doing all kinds of funky stuff. You know. So that won't fly. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we're gonna come here and we're gonna have to do some adjustments to this. No, before we do that, actually, no, my bad. One thing that I need to do is, because now this is a different element that we want to access, then I'll have to create another variable for that. So I'll say nmt equals, say document dot get element by ID, and then we'll say nmt. Okay, so we've got that guy. Once again, I will log, you know, to check if I've got the right dude. Say nmt. Okay, so let's see if I've got it. Okay, there we go. So I've got the right element. Okay, so now that I've got that, I want to see the attributes that I can access. So I'll say attributes. Okay, so there I've got a list there, and what I want to manipulate here is from and to. So this is where I want to make changes. Okay, so we see that it's at index 4 and 5. Okay, so cool. So what we're gonna do then is say let's say yeah, nmt dot attributes. Okay, you know, our attributes are at 4. Okay, we'll say 4 and then dot value is equal to. Okay, so what we want to do is, because the reason why this is rotating that way is because I didn't specify here the center, you know, where I want the center point or the transform origin to be. And because of that, I don't want to do it here because it will be changing all the time and I cannot add any variables or any JavaScript variables here. I have to do everything here in this script, which is why I have to basically access it through this variable right here. So what I'm going to do is, since I already gave it these values, what I would like to do is say I will basically repeat the same values. I'll say 0 and then I'll make space, and then what I will do, I'll say plus, and then I'll say client x. So this is my x. Okay, I'll say e.client x, e.client x, and then I'll say plus, and then I'll make some space in between, and then I'll add another variable, and I'll say e.client y. Okay, and that should do it right there. So yes, this is the first value, so it is starting to animate from 0, and then this is basically the x and y coordinates, which will be the center from which it will rotate. Okay, so it will use the mouse cursor as the center, and so I will take that, I'll copy it, and then I'll paste it over here, and all I will change here is that. Okay, and this value over here, so I'll make this 360. Okay, so this is what we've got to work with. Yeah, so let's check it out. Let's see how it's working. Awesome. You see, so now, yes, our rect has been centered, and so wherever the mouse cursor is, this will be the center of its rotation. Okay. So let's close that over there, and then we can see it run smoothly. Okay, so yeah, you can then change your values as you like. You know, you can make it move faster. Let's say 0.5 seconds, then it just goes crazy. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can just use your imagination and think of what you can add on to this, or what else, you know, you could do with it just to kind of mimic the same kind of behavior. But yeah, maybe you could add some blending mode to it. You could add some, let's say, maybe you could add some displacement. Hey, you know, anything is possible. But yeah, so just play around with this stuff, you know, see what cool stuff you can come up with. Yeah, but I think this is pretty cool. So this is all that I had for you guys. So the rest is on you. So yeah, it's been awesome. So yeah, till the next lesson, love and peace, my brothers and sisters. I'm out. If you thought this video was good and helpful, please press that like button. For any questions or input, just remember to leave a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe to my channel and I'll keep more stuff coming your way.